Unbreakable! Stay dandy, baby. Things get turtly in the latest episode of Yashahime as Toa Setsuna and Moroha battle against another member of the Four Perils, who thankfully is not defeated in the episode that he's introduced in. But this is an episode which is going to feature a very familiar yokai. We're going to see a Myoju, which is a yokai that was seen in the original Inuyasha series, a massive armored turtle demon, which's body was stolen by Moriomaru, one of the incarnations of Naraku, and we get to see another one of them in this episode. And again, I think their entire lot in life is that their shell is continuously stolen by other demons and transformed into some sort of battle armor, and that's exactly what the next member of the Four Perils is actually going to do, a guy who goes by the name of Konton. There's not really much to say about this character outside of the fact that he's a dude with a tail and horns and wears turtle armor. That's really all there is to his character, and the fact that he's completely obsessed with transforming the world itself into a way that he feels is the way that it should look. That's really all there is to his character, but for the most part, this was a pretty simple episode of all of our characters coming together to fight against him and to also save this little kid who goes by the name of Meifuku, who just so happens to be the son of the Myoju, the giant turtle demon. And all of this is going to seem incredibly familiar. Not just the fact that we've seen a yokai like this before, but for the fact that this kid's story is basically shippos. It even features a pretty similar ending, but overall this was still a pretty satisfying episode in its own right, if only for the fact that it did feature some pretty cool action and of course getting to see all of our main characters come together and kick some demon ass. But again, my favorite thing about it was probably the fact that Konton himself was not defeated in this episode. He's going to live to fight another day, and I'm glad because these Four Perils that they've been building up as like the grand underlings of Kirin have been mildly disappointing. I mean, one of them was practically killed off screen, came back as bones. The other one they were building up to be one of the most important ones got taken out almost immediately, and now we finally have another member here who they're building up just a little bit more, so hopefully he'll be a little bit more of a threat in the following episodes of the series. But most of this one starts off with Moroha, who again is doing what she does best, being a bounty hunter, wanting to make more money, and she has the ability to make enough money, which according to them is enough to buy rice for 1 year, and she has to end up going after this demon, which this is where Toa and Setsuna get involved, because they still want to find this dream butterfly, and Jubei has no answers to it, but he says one of the best ways to do this is to put a bounty out for it, but it's gonna cost some dough, and it just so happens to be the same amount of money that Moroha is going after, so they decide to join her in her efforts to try and hunt down this demon, which leads them into a big conflict with Konton, where when they battle against him initially, they can't seem to pierce him at all because he's wearing that turtle armor. I guess they forgot that sometimes you can just aim for the head. Why don't they ever try and attack for the head? That's Thanos rules, people. But most of this serves as a vehicle to introduce the character of Meifuku, who may or may not be a standby for the series. I'm guessing he's just going to be kind of like a one-off character for the show. But again, his entire backstory is strikingly similar to Shippo's, where his parent is dead, and he's essentially trying to get revenge for them against a more powerful demon, and trying to reclaim his father's armor, which is now attached to Konton. And that leads to another pretty cool conflict, which is filled with lots of great action and even some funny moments, like the fact that Moroha is continuously pushing Meifuku into the battle against Konton, something that he really does not want to do because he's shitting his little turtley pants, but that's when he decides to jump onto Toa and act as her very own armor, which is weird. Again, I don't know why they just keep attacking each other in the chest. If they just aim for the heads or the legs or the arms, they'd cause some pretty serious damage here, but it is a pretty interesting fight to say the least, especially getting to see more of Toa's abilities, how not only can she take said demon energy, but she can also infuse it into different objects as well, which ends up giving her a pretty big advantage in the battle against Konton, releasing that armor. Believe it or not, Meifuku even is instrumental in defeating Konton using his Dark Lightning Cannon, which totally sounds like an attack from Dragon Ball Z. It also got a big Dragon Ball Z vibe too, when his father's spirit actually like held onto Konton, allowing him to attack him, and right as he's defeated, he decides to pull a Team Rocket blasting off again. He gets the hell out of Dodge, and our characters make no money, they make no progress, but they're this much closer to defeating the next member of the Four Perils. So what's the rundown on this episode of Yashahime? This one was okay in my opinion. Definitely one of my least favorite episodes of the series, and a lot of this mostly owed to the overall familiarity of it. And while that can be a nice nostalgic thing, it just felt kind of stock in this episode right here, especially with the overuse of similar demons that we've seen before, the fact that we have a kid whose backstory is strikingly similar to ones that we've actually seen before, and that the Four Perils themselves perils have not completely blown me away as really competent or super awesome villains. They have cool and serviceable designs, to say the least, but there's really nothing all that special about them. In fact, that might even be the point of the four perils. They might be something of a big distraction for all of these characters, while Kira and Maru is actually planning something even bigger in the actual background of the series. I was also really hoping we get a little more screen time with Riku again, as again, I think he's one of the more interesting characters that they've added to the series. And of course, we're still getting no answers to anything about these characters' backstories and their relationship to their parents. They're just keeping all of that stuff pretty damn secret. However, there were some gems in this episode, some moments of good characterization, most of which actually came from the character of Moroha, who again continues to, I still think, be one of the standout characters of the series, and the fact that learning that while she is very happy-go-lucky, outgoing, and just loves to go on a great adventure, she herself is kind of lonely, and now she has the prospect of having friends and even cousins. She's really excited about that, and she simply just wants to be with them all the time, yet at the same time, there's also a little bit of competition between all of these characters, which manages to give the series a lot of fun. And fun really is the name of the game when it comes to this episode of Yashahime. Turn your brain off and kind of enjoy the episode for what it is, and you'll certainly get enjoyment out of it. It's certainly a nostalgic ride for the series, and the fact that they're building up another major antagonist for the series is pretty great, but man, I can't believe we're already about to get to episode 10 after this one. It seems like, you know, we're still just barely getting started with Yashahime, but man, they are just blasting through this show, and still, so far, it does have my attention. It's still not, like, eclipsing Inuyasha at this point, but I'm still getting enough entertainment value from it, and the characters themselves manage to be interesting enough, so that's definitely something to like. Production value-wise, second verse, same as the first, very similar to the last couple of episodes. It looks like they're mostly going to be saving their budget for those more important story-centric episodes when we get closer to the major conflicts with Kira and Maru. But still, I'm interested to see where things are going to go from here, and if they continue to at least give all three of these characters those little moments of solid characterization, even if it's only for a few moments, I still think it's worth seeing, and if anything, it's always fun to spend time in this land and to meet new demons and characters and always get lots of cool action scenes. So overall, I thought this was kind of an average episode of the series. I didn't hate it, and I need to stress that average is not necessarily a bad thing. It means it's very watchable. It just means there's a few problems with the episode, but I still highly recommend it to all fans of Yashahime. I'm going to give this episode a 3 out of 5. You heard my thoughts on the episode. I want to hear yours. Make sure to sound off in the comments section below, and make sure to tell me what you thought about the latest episode of Yashahime. Did you have any favorite moments from this episode? Will we see the return of the character Meifuku? Do you want to even see the return of that character? And what's the deal with Konton? Is he going to be a competent opponent, or is he going to go down just like the other perils? And what do you hope to see from the rest of those characters and Kira and Maru in the future? Sound off, comment section below. You guys know the drill. Thank you guys for watching this review. Please make sure to subscribe for more reviews just like this one. If you did like this video, use your demon powers to hit that like button. Helps out these videos a lot. I can't stress that enough. I also would like to go ahead and take this time to thank all of my patrons for making monthly donations to the channel. You guys are freaking superheroes. You guys are awesome. You save the day every single month watching my content, making these donations. Remember, first-time donators, you make your first-time donation, I'll review an anime series of your choice, as well as adding your name to this list of all of these people who make these donations. You guys are effectively the producers of Ace Guru. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.